Introducing the all-new Corolla.
In anticipation of the Guam military buildup, YOUNEX builders began constructing a workforce village in Harmon, near Two Lovers Point and the Northern Wastewater Treatment Plant. They had plans to build a village big enough to house 15,000 construction workers that DoD anticipated would be needed for the buildup. But the buildup has been postponed and downsized significantly, and now the rows of barracks built for this workforce village sit vacant and idle. YOUNEX has stopped construction on the village and has now been granted a partial refund of the $500,000 it put down as an initial funding source for off-site source water development to ensure that the Ukudu Workforce Village did not negatively impact Guam's water system. CCU Chairman Simon Sanchez.
They had an agreement with GWA that as they expand the project, I think it's every 2,000 people, they would pay an incremental amount for expanding the water and wastewater system because they're adding more people.
The first incremental payment was $500,000. Sanchez says they paid this along with the system development charges needed for the meters they were using at the time. They were supposed to pay an additional $500,000 every time they increased the capacity of the village by 2,000 people.
Well, as everyone knows, the buildup did not occur, has not occurred. There's not a need for 14,000 workers. So YOUNEX has spent the last 5 or 6 months going back to the government of Guam and saying we want to change our occupancy permit because we're not going to be this big, we're going to be much smaller. And they've gone to Public Works, and one of the people they've gone to is GWA as well.
Sanchez says that GWA General Manager Martin Rausch reviewed their request for a refund and decided to grant them a partial refund, minus a past due water bill and a new system development charge for larger meters that they've asked to be installed. So now they'll be getting back about $287,000, or a little over half their down payment.
I think the new permit will allow them to handle 1,000, 1,500 people, but they're not allowed to go past that number. But they do want to upgrade the size of their meter. Well, that requires an additional system development charge of about $190,000 to go from a 3-inch to a 6-inch meter. So they'll pay that, they'll pay their water bill, and they'll pay for the cost of the new meter out of the $500,000 that they advanced, and then they get the money back.
Sanchez says that this shouldn't affect GWA negatively because the money was set aside for the future improvements to the water system if YOUNEX had continued building the larger village that they had originally envisioned.
I think their hope is there are some marine exercises that do occur, and they've been approached where they could be used to house 1,800 people during an exercise.